everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mr. Hohenschelt?
Here.
Mrs. Hume? Here. Mr. Reitnauer?
Here.
Mr. Sheets? Mr. Stubitz?
Here.
Mrs. Walliser? Here. Mr. Wagner?
Here.
So we have a couple items to present to the board this evening before we start with the official meeting. The first one is the Kutztown Rotary is a Rotary organization that also oversees. Sorry. People lose the water.
You got an oil spill.
There we go. Thank you, Mr. Hefner. I'm in. Kutztown Rotary is an organization that oversees the Brandywine School District as well as Kutztown, and they've been very supportive. We do Student of the Month opportunities with them. They had reached out to me this summer and wanted to make a sizable contribution to the school district to help some kind of community project. And so they have graciously donated $7,000 to go to the school district to help with the rehab that we did this summer on the tennis court in the middle school. So that is now a tennis court with 3 tennis courts that were there before. It is now covered in nice gray with red or with maroon, so it looks school colors. And then we also installed 6 pickleball courts on each side of the 3 tennis ball courts. So some exciting stuff happening there, a lot of community buzz. There's going to be an event happening coming up in October where one of our former employees, Mr. Lapp, who is a former gym teacher, is going to be doing some introductory sessions for those that might not know how to do pickleball and want to learn the sport. So that space is used for students during school day for physical education classes, but we invite our community, our families, other community members to come and use that space after hours. So that's why it's there. It's a community location, and so we're very gracious and thankful to the Kutztown Rotary for the $7,000 donation. With that, I'm going to transition and move on to our New Heights Awards, and I'm going to move over to the front here. So I have 2 New Heights Awards, and for those that are new, we do New Heights Awards every month. It's kind of like our Employees of the Month. So we get any staff member can be nominated by a student, by parents, by faculty, for things they do above and beyond to be recognized. And we get a big list of staff every month, and then we nominate 2 people to become essentially New Heights Award winners in front of the board, and to be essentially almost like Employees of the Month for the month. So this month, I'm excited to introduce Mr. Eric Then. Mr. Then, if you don't mind coming up here. He is one of our new teachers that is part of our induction process as a long-term substitute math teacher in the high school. And so I'm going to read why Mr. Then was recognized. Mr. Then is doing an amazing job teaching 3 different math classes at the high school. Mr. Then is conscientious, caring, and an organized teacher. He has made an outstanding effort to connect to his students, such as making fun of himself with dad jokes and deciding a bulletin board to his students' pets. When students try to get away with something, quote unquote, get away, he is prompt, fair, and gives the students options and makes deals with them to honor what they want, but also ensure proper learning is occurring. He has come to school prepared each day, bringing engaging activities and asks questions to his coworkers if he wants more clarification on his duties. Any teacher can tell that he is putting in many hours outside the classroom because his grading is timely, class plans are in place, parents are kept in the loop through emails, study guides and quizzes are meeting all the learning support guidelines. Being hired merely days before the first day of classes, Mr. Then has embraced his role and is excelling as a young professional in his field. Congratulations. And I think Mr. Jenners is going to share a few remarks.
Math can be such a difficult subject to engage kids with. And Mr. Then from the first day you can tell in conversations with him, has said things like, I'm trying to make math applicable for my students. I'm trying to get my students engaged in what we're doing. I want them to be a part of that. And that goes such a long way in getting kids to understand what's happening there. And so his passion for math was evident when we first met, and now it is definitely being translated in that classroom every single day. And so he's been doing a phenomenal job, having started it really was just days before our school year began with the students.
Awesome. So we're going to give you a certificate and also a mug. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go over and snap a
Thank you.
picture. We have the screen set up in the back. We're going to do that really quick.
Nope.
You're in. The next New Height Award recipient is Mrs. Angela Kemp, and she's here with her son. Does he want to come up with you? All right, come on. Mrs. Kemp is one of our special education teachers at the elementary school. She joined us a few years ago, coming with prior experiences, done an amazing job at the elementary school. So I'm going to read, she has two acknowledgments. Hi, buddy. How are you? Good. I'm going to read two acknowledgments of why Angie was selected. Angie is a dedicated and compassionate educator who consistently goes above and beyond for her students. She provides imperative functional skills that support their growth and independence, often extending her efforts beyond the school day to ensure their success. Angie also maintains strong, thoughtful communications with families, offering reassurance and understanding that fosters a sense of trust. Her unwavering commitment makes her an invaluable advocate and support for both her students and their families. And the second one says, Angela Kemp goes above and beyond each day to create a learning environment where students feel valued, supported, and empowered. With patience, creativity, and compassion, she meets students where they are and inspire them to grow beyond expectations. Her commitment to individualized learning, social and emotional growth, and fostering independence has made a lasting impact on her students and the other adults who work in her room. She has so much energy and passion, which is contagious. Hashtag Team Kemp for the win. So congratulations. I think Dr. Kirschner is going to share a few remarks.
So I prepared something. However, I must say, so 3 years ago now that you've been in the classroom, like from day one when we interviewed her, truly, she has been a pleasure to work with. Her dedication, all of the kind words that were shared, truly does not acknowledge like the day-to-day work that she puts into her classroom with her students, with her families. The communication is phenomenal. She is always positive. I don't think there's been a day where you're not smiling in the classroom.
Asking Ethan.
All the is there ever a day where mom's not smiling? I wouldn't believe it, honestly. She truly is the heartbeat of her classroom and that elementary school, and all the lives that you touch in just the last 3 years have been something that just a reward for those families. And I know all of the positive, kind words that they've shared too with their experience with you being their teacher, and just the ongoing communication that you have with them. I just want to say thank you for doing all of the things that you do day in and day out. You're welcome.
I love working with you.
Certificate?
Thank you so much.
I would also put forth lead cheerleader for Thompson Soccer Club.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing that, Mr. Hohenfeld.
We're going to get another picture. All right, with that, Mr. Wagaman.
All right. Student reports. Quinn.
This month in the elementary school, the students had the fire department come to their school to teach them about fire safety. Later this month, on October 17th, the PTC will be hosting their annual event, Race for Education, where they can raise money. And students, depending on how much they walk around the track, they will earn a punishment from Miss Kelly. And lastly, on October 31st, the students will celebrate Halloween with a parade, followed by parties and fun activities.
In the middle school, on the topic of sports, MS fall sports are coming to an end in mid-October. Most last games are from the week in the week of the 13th to the 17th. In Student Council and Key Club, we raised about $914 in penny wars to donate to CHOP, and we raised about $340 in bake sales in September to donate to the sanctuary at Hassville. Upcoming events are the middle school dance, October 17th, the Red Ribbon Spirit Week from the 27th to the 31st. Monday is Camo Day, so drugs can't find me. Tuesday is favorite band shirts to band together against drugs. Wednesday is Western Day to give drugs the boot. Thursday you wear red for drug prevention, and Friday you wear your costume to scare away drugs. We're having a Red Ribbon Week pep rally on October 30th, and we have various fall activities for the month of October.
Second.
All right.
Second.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for your patience.
Sticking around, huh? Who's lost some folks?
We did a little bit.
All the snacks are gone.
Mrs. Klinicki, thank you for staying. As shared earlier, just for the record, we did have to break for personnel discussion on our back. So Board of Directors report, I wanted to go over a couple items. We had the meeting minutes from the last school board meeting on September 8th. Those are listed. Any questions, concerns with those that need to be adjusted? Okay. We have second reading policies that were presented last time. Those policies are no corrections from last time. The one thing I will note is that there was a question about number 311, which was reductions of staff. On the agenda, it was forgive me, I don't have it right in front of me. It was furloughs, and in the actual policy, when you opened it, it said reductions of staff. And so the old terminology that was there was a carryover from previously. PSB had changed it with some recommendations, with some recommended changes, and that title didn't transfer. So no substantive policy changes, but the title did go to reduction of staff, which was in the policy. So for first reading policies this month, we have evaluation of the superintendent. There are no PSBA updates, and so no substantive changes there. 313, evaluation of administrative staff, same thing, no substantial changes there. 314, physical examinations. That had some updates from PSBA. Mr. Pratt and I talked about those updates. They were not applicable to the school district, and we weren't super comfortable putting those into our policies because they really didn't pertain. So we're suggesting keeping the policy as it remains as a cyclic process review. 314.1 HIV infections, same thing, no major changes there. The one that I do want to point out is 707 use of facilities. This isn't necessarily a change to the policy, but in the policy there is a fee schedule attached. And I wanted to highlight some recommended fee changes, This is particularly because we've added the turf field at the high school, and we didn't have any turf field usage fees associated with our current fee structure. So we built that in. Those are in there now. The recommendation is to do for other groups that are outside the school district, which is really the one I wanted to focus on most. It would be $125 an hour without lights. That would have bathroom access, so that would include the cleaning of the bathroom. $150 if they were going to use the lights to cover that electric cost, and then an additional $50 on either one of those if they were going to use the scoreboard. We'd have to have someone come out to operate the scoreboard. So we did an analysis of the other school districts in the area that have a turf field and what those rates are, and this was right in that average of where others were.
What would be an example of that? Of just
an outside organization. So a soccer club wants to come in and use our facility. Not our soccer club, but they want to have a tournament here, and it's a traveling league, and so the traveling league would rent our facility.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, and it happens actually pretty frequently. It hasn't happened to us yet, but it can.
There it is.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Are we exploring any outreach to advertise for that? To get like the word out that we have this facility?
Yes, I want to say yes. I don't know what those action items are yet. It was part of our goals conversation with Mr. Pinelli that he was actively working on that and wanted to make a concerted effort to get the revenue coming in off the field. I don't know what those action items were for advertising that though. Okay. Those are the items for the policy. I did want to point out items D and E. Mr. Slabowski is our interim business manager. So for the time being, I'm going to recommend that we have him be the health trust director until we hire a permanent business manager. And then similarly, that he is the Berks EITC representative for the school district as well. It was positions previously that a business manager would oversee. And so it kind of makes sense for us just allow Slabowski to do that. Those are the items under the board of directors report. Any questions on those?
Just the intermediate school, when you rent the soccer field with the lights for a student group, it's $10 an hour versus at the renting the turf field with lights, still $5 an hour. Is that on purpose? It's the only one that's $10 an hour.
Nicer grass, too.
Turf field?
Thank you. I'll go back and evaluate that. I'm glad you pointed that out. Thank you. So let me ask this: would you rather? Should we have the soccer field be the 10, or do you want it to be the 5, and keep it in line with everything else? It's very
Well,
minimal,
if
obviously.
It's just funny, it's the only one.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
You're using the turf field with lights for
For
$5
less.
an hour at the high school.
Yep.
But we always have those lights on at night.
Mhm.
Anyway, so it's not like you can rent it without the lights.
You
Just saying
Technically, you could because they're on low level and not on high level. So
Okay.
if you actually want to use it,
We're gonna have a dark event.
laser tag.
What kind of lighting is on the field out there? It's not LED.
They are LEDs. Yeah.
Okay, that's an LED, so there's no power differential there except the number of lights.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really a matter of do we want to make it set at 5 or 10?
I say 5.
One's up, one's down.
I mean, come on, you can't eat a candy bar for $5 these days.
Because it's the school groups, we're trying to incentivize.
Like Tofton Soccer Club or
Soccer
something.
club.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Do we want to delineate between in-district club and out-of-district club?
Well, school related would have to be like the top of the soccer club.
Brandywine related.
Yeah.
District related,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do it. Do we want
So if Fleetwood wanted to use
Correct.
it, they would be considered an other group, basically.
Correct. Yeah.
So it does have a different price.
I can change the title to BHASD related youth groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way it's very specific.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll put BHASD affiliated then as well. Good suggestions. I'll put this back on again for next month. So take a chance to look through this. If you have any other suggestions, let me know. And we can work through that.
Do we have a hard copy of that or is that just online?
It is online, but I can print a hard copy for you.
If there's an opportunity, I don't see it in my packet, but that's fine.
Moving on with committee reports. BCIU, Mrs. Hume.
Good evening, everyone. I have a comment to make about how the committee reports are, whether or not they're available to public, and it's based on feedback that I got. So I got feedback recently when I do my reports. One, I'm oblivious to the fact that we're being recorded. And so it dawned on me, this person was like, when I listen online, I was like, oh, geez, didn't realize that people could see us and people paid attention out there. But the feedback was that the audience could not access our committee reports. And that sometimes for brevity, I say, as reflected in the written report, and I don't share the information. I just point you all to the written report. And so this feedback was really enlightening to me because I had no idea that people were out there and interested. And then when they're interested, they can't access it. So my question is, how do you all feel about if we could make the committee report link, like our summary document, this guy, available to the public on the public version of the agenda?
I'm pulling it up now. I'm almost positive it is.
Okay, if it is great, then there was just confusion.
This is the public agenda that I have displayed, and it's linked right here.
Perfect. Okay, so that's fine. Maybe the person doesn't understand that it's clickable or whatever.
And it might have been a previous meeting. For some reason, maybe it wasn't.
Okay,
But I know the last two, I purposely made sure it was.
perfect.
And then we also have hard copies out for those that are
Oh, good.
for Catherine.
Yay. Thank you. Yes.
There's 27 hard copies for you.
For the big fans. The dedicated fans.
Well, okay, so thank you for that. Appreciate it. So the BCIU Board of Directors met last on Thursday, September 18th. I'm going to read this just because it's powerful stuff. The biggest highlight from the meeting was that the BCIU officially dedicated its new learning center at the Helping Harvest Annex. That happened in mid-September. This is critical because it marks a significant step forward in expanding early childhood education and family engagement opportunities in downtown Reading, right near the Goggle Works. So that's Reading's 6th ward. It also provides support for the broader Berks County community. So this event that occurred on September 17th, there were more than 100 guests at the ceremony. It's kind of a big deal. Community partners, Head Start families, senators, House of Representatives, folks from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development on behalf of Governor Shapiro spoke. But the gist was it was all focused on investing in early childhood education in our community and recognizing that that is essential for building strong communities and driving economic growth. So tours of the facility occurred. There are 2 Head Start classrooms. I believe together they support about 34 students, a large group instruction room, an outdoor play area. And the center was all made possible through BCIU's leadership and commitment and basically knocking on doors and getting folks to donate. So contributions from donors and partners. It's going to stand as a hub for education, family engagement, and community connection for many years. So exciting stuff in downtown Reading and in general for the Berks County community around early childhood education. The other thing that I wanted to mention as a highlight, the BCIU board approved submission of the Berks County Head Start 5-year grant continuation application. The other thing that we've talked about here that I wanted to follow up on, we've talked about the budget impasse and the fact that the money from the state is not flowing. We've talked about how that really impacts the BCIU way more than it does us as a district, home district, if you will. The BCIU is withholding, the board approved that the BCIU withhold its payment to PSERS. The initial thing that we approved was that we withhold not just the employee contributions, but also the state match. They're now saying that we can't withhold the employee contributions. We have to send them, but we can withhold the state match, but we might be subject to penalty. So it's unfortunate, it's a little squirrely, but we're doing our best to financially be sound, to send a message to the state legislators that the impasse is really having impact without then subjecting the institution to fines and penalties for doing so. So one final reminder, on Wednesday, October 8th, the annual Keeping Kids Safe Symposium is occurring. And again, I mentioned this a while back. It's focused on building digital awareness and emotional resilience in a hyper-connected world. These sessions are always really powerful. It's 4 hours from 8 to 12 at the BCIU and main office. And any board member around the county is more than welcome to attend, in addition to all the administrative staff from districts. So that concludes my report. The next meeting of the BCIU Board of Directors is scheduled for Thursday, October 16th. Thank you.
In terms of the advocacy for the budget component, if it's not
Yes.
past that point, there is a superintendent study council that's going to Harrisburg to meet with legislators. The Senate's supposed to be in session, so we have some good FaceTime with our local senators. That's October 28th and 29th.
Great.
So we'll get there soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. BCTC, Mr. Right now.
BCTC met September 24th at the West Campus. Horticulture students showcased their creativity and floral design skills at the Ole Fair, earning multiple awards across a variety of categories. Their impressive work highlighted both individual talent and the strength of their school programs. The health occupation students brought energy and dedication to their recent blood drive. Their leadership and enthusiasm helped collect 36 units of blood for the Miller Keystone Blood Bank. A couple of important dates. Open House East Campus is October 27th and West Campus is October 30th. Doors are open from 5 to 8. The National Technical Honor Society induction is at Schuylkill Valley High School, October 23rd at 6:30. And the next BCTC meeting is October 22nd at the East Campus.
Thank you, sir.
Areas at the state level, I'll just rattle them off. It's a bulleted list. School safety, and that includes both physical security and mental health, grant funding, as well as future funding for school safety. Also under state, the basic education funding and special ed funding, so BEF and SEF. State mandates is a priority, and what Andrew mentioned already, charter and cyber charter reform. At the federal level, the target priority areas are special ed, parent bill of rights, vouchers and school choice. This one's interesting, E-rate and technology, and then Medicaid for mental health services. And the watch list items, so didn't quite make the cut, but are still highly visible. Alternatives in school property tax, school choice and lifeline scholarships. I don't know what that is. And the fair funding lawsuit. And then there's finally a discussion item, which Andrew, you mentioned, the AI deepfakes and this image-based sexual abuse issue that's happening. So I can give this to you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
When we
couple items under building construction committee. At the high school stadium project, they are starting to lay the track this week. They mobilized this past weekend, and so the first layer will be a 1/2-inch base layer, and then on top of that, they're going to put a 1/4-inch finish coat. This is a kind of an anecdotal side comment, but when I was over there meeting with the individual that's going to be laying the track, I asked him, like, what does this look like when you end up having to strip it down to resurface this? And he said, you should get about 15 years out of this if you take care of it. He said, I said, you strip it down all the way? He said, actually, you have a phenomenal track. He said, because what you're going to do is you're just going to layer base on top of what's there, and it's going to save you about half the cost of redoing your track. So that was great news to hear, and one of those nice hidden presents that we got, not in a bad way. So the update on the woodshop expansion greenhouse, if you have a chance to drive back there, a lot of work happening behind the high school. All the footers are being formed. They hit a couple minor roadblocks with rock they didn't expect and things like that. They're still anticipating that completion to be February 15th, which is great because they had, with the DEP permit delay, they were supposed to start in June. They didn't start until August, so they're still keeping to their timeline, which is good. And then finally at the high school, we're doing some masonry work. The wall going to the high school athletic entrance in the back, the top of it is crumbling and starting to fall. That first top 4 layers have been all replaced. And then out front where the art room wall is, that was starting to look pretty shabby after some of the pieces had fallen off. So we stripped that off, and a new brick wall is going to be added to the base that's there. That should look really sharp when that's done. So those are the things that are happening building construction wise.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
Mrs. Eisenhart?
Yes.
Mr. Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Hohenschuk?
Yes.
Mrs. Hume?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Stubitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Walliser?
Yes.
Mr. Weideman?
Yes.
8 yeas, motion carries.
Thank you. Business and operations report. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion right now.
Second, Stevens.
Yes, the floor is yours, Mr. Collier.
Okay, a couple items under the bills. So we have in here this evening the general fund bills, the food service bills, the capital reserve bills. Those lists of bills are attached. Last time we were together, we talked about the financial reports. We do have both financial reports linked, the revenue and expenditures for the general fund, the food service, the capital reserve. There's 2 in there. The business D1 is more the summary, and then the expanded board report that's linked as well is your more detailed one. But we're including both so you can see again the high level numbers, or if you want to see the specificity, that's in there as well. We also have the investment schedule and student activities and trust accounts. Unless there's something specific in those funds, I'll move on to some of the more contractual items in this section. The special education pupil services. There are 2 contracts. Both of these are for placements for students for mental health services. One is for Kids Peace, and that is at $180 a day. The other one is for CHORE, which is Children's Home of Reading, and that is for $335.50 per day. And then there is an instructional aid cost of another $262.34. Both of those, again, are for students that are students, but are in need of a placement due to some mental health challenges. Item F, we have to approve an agreement or ratify an agreement with the ACT testing. This is similar to the SAT. It's just another variation of this. We are looking to host ACT and pre-ACT testing in the high school. This agreement is allowing us to do that hosting of it. It is no charge to the district. If a student wants to take that ACT test, the cost would be to the parent to pay that test. The next item 2, is for the 2025-2026 user agreement for Infinite Campus. That is $26,263. This is a big bill, but it's the one that we use to fund our basically our entire student information system behind the scenes. That's our registration, everything from registration to our lunch accounts are in there. So
it's our whole kind of brains behind operations for grades and report cards and everything like that. Item G is 3 change orders related to the current projects. One is a change order for the high school stadium project. This is for engineering fees related to the redesign of the basin, the water retention basin. So originally, when we approved the project back in July of last year, there was $225,000 put aside to support the construction and the engineering of the basin. When we went through the process and the permitting, DEP and the township had us redesign some of that basin work. And so this change order is to the cost to redesign what the DEP had us do to get the permit. Item 2 and 3 are connected to the greenhouse woodshop expansion project. Item 2 is to remove 2 trees in the vicinity of the greenhouse, and item 3 is to remove some underseen rock that was in the foundation area right against the base of the current woodshop. When they dug that out, it was all rock, so they had to do some additional work there to get that out of there. Those are the 3 change orders that are there. Any questions on those before I move forward? Item H is to approve or to ratify the engagement with the SAP Global Ratings. This is to the amount of $19,850. This amount the district won't necessarily write a check for. When we did the refinancing, and if you do in your packets, there is a 1-pager of the bond refinancing. So we did go out for the bond. The bond rating, we were a AA negative. That in terms of the financial health of an organization, that's a very good number. That's a very good rating. We were AA negative previously. I actually thought we might eke up a little bit. There were a couple things that were noted in our rating that held us back. One of them was that our economic productivity of the Brandywine Heights residential area on per capita basis were weaker than the nation. So because our economy locally was not growing at the rate the nation was, that was a ding on us. Another one, which I thought was interesting, was the elevated pension costs. That became a risk for the district and was a negative. So neither one of those we can control. The one we can control noted that we have a capital improvement project, which lists the cost and timeline, but it's noted that we did not have a comprehensive long-term financial plan, primarily because our projects that we have on there are not associated with a bond. We're not taking loans out. We're using fund balance to pay for it. So those were the findings, but we stayed as AA negative. That was positive, so I thought that was a win. On the bond itself, it was a 4-year bond. We were able to get it at 2.56% on average. When you net all the fees out of this, including this 19,000, whatever it is, for the bond rating, we're going to have $108,000 savings. So that's phenomenal. Basically, for really doing nothing and refinancing them, we're going to save $108,000. So that was, I thought, great news. On the 1-pager, the first blue colored sheet shows what our debt is, all our debt for the school district. And so as you can see here, we will be debt free in 2032 with actually only about a half a payment of what we normally are paying. So on average, we spend about $2.5 million on our loans. That last year will be 1.2. So that is, from a financial perspective, we're in a great shape there. And then the other 2 snapshots there show what the original debt structure was. And then the second one shows where we are right now. And again, it shows that savings of just about $108,000. Any questions on that process? We have them here to approve the renewal for our with United Concordia. That is the insurance plan we have for the dental insurance for our employees. There's a note on here. This was not in the records. We can't find this. It was approved in 24-25. So we are showing you to approve it for 25-26. We did carry the insurance for 24-25, but you can see here the rate of what 26 is, which is what we're going to be paying versus what it was two series ago, and what those rate changes are. The change for this year from last year is on average about 7.7% increase. Item J is to approve an agreement with Conrad Siegel. That's to perform our 2025 Affordable Cares Act reporting. They're going to go through, they'll determine all our full-time employees because that's part of the Affordable Care Act. And then they'll do all the required IRS reporting for the school district. And there's 4 different forms that they'll approve, some create and some approve, submit on behalf of the school district. Item K is to approve the bus drivers with Christ Transportation for 25-26. There's a couple items, as well as our Eshelman Transportation. We use Eshelman to contract them to do the BCTC routes. So a couple updates on there we want to put on there. Item L is to approve an agreement with BCTC. This allows us to share student lunch information, so free reduced lunch information with BCTC, so those systems can sync up. That's what that item is. Item M is to approve an agreement with Lancaster Lebanon Intermediate Unit 13. They do a consortium for purchasing of food. We're not agreeing to purchase food at this point, but we're agreeing to join the consortium to go out and purchase food. We've done this historically in the past, but this is, again, is just to say, yes, we're interested in participating in that consortium. It's worked pretty well for us. Paige and Mrs. Kowaleski, who's in charge of food service, highly recommend that we do this. And then finally, item N is to approve a 3-month extension with BCIU for our old financial software, eFinance Power School. So eFinance was our old financial system that ended June 30th. We're asking for a 3-month extension on that at $6,400 to help us get through the end of the calendar year for our report. Everything is switched over to our new system, CSIU, but because we still need to go back into the old system for all the tax record pieces, it's all in eFinance. And so that's why we're looking to make that extension to get us through, again, these last 3 months. Any questions on the business section?
Mr. Potiphar, 2 quick questions. The last item you were just discussing, item N, the 3-month extension. So we budgeted, I imagine, a number or a plug for that system conversion. Did we anticipate this extra $6,000? Am I reading right? $6,400, or did that kind of catch us off guard?
We did not. So it was a 2-part piece. We had the extension of eFinance going until September 30th. They were not willing to extend beyond that, the company. So we did, once we had to kind of got ourselves in a position where we were able to negotiate with them a little bit stronger. We were able to get them to allow us to extend that for another 3 years or three months to get us to the end of the calendar year. So to answer your question, no, this was not budgeted for, but it was not budgeted for because we didn't think we could go past September 30th.
Okay. But we found money to do it. I mean, it sounds like you have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm just struggling a little bit with my memory on the item that's the ACT. So it's under curriculum and technology, item F1. So the ACT tests.
Yep.
Back in the day, this is what my memory's faded. Back in the day, I thought we had a program in place where the district would fund the cost of taking the SAT for free and reduced lunch students. And if families were in free and reduced lunch, then the financial burden for their kids' SAT test was on them. In this instance, I think I heard you say we're not doing that, and that if you take the ACT test as a student, the financial cost for that test is on you. So it just seems, am I misremembering that we do that for the SAT, or should we consider being consistent there?
I'm going to turn it over to Mrs.
because she is the ACT expert.
I've been working with Mr. Becker at the high school. He is kind of our spearhead behind this. He's had students who have been interested in taking the ACT and has been working to coordinate for pre-ACTs and ACT testing this year. The reduced costs for SATs and PSATs actually comes through that program. So it's not something the district funds. They offer the reduced costs. ACT does not offer a reduced cost, unfortunately, for free and reduced lunch. The pre-ACT cost is $17.50 a student, and the ACT cost is $54.75 a student. And that's again same across the board. For PSATs, it's $18 a student for the full cost, free for free and reduced. SATs is $50 to $55 for the full cost, and then free for the free and reduced cost.
I think we also, did we talk about doing it for AP?
I think that's what I remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember the SAT. I remember the AP.
It was for the advanced placement courses we were talking about.
What do we do?
Let me do this. Let me go back.
Sorry.
That's
I'm
some
just trying to,
cobwebs off all our memories.
thinking, yeah.
That was helpful, thank you.
And I will come back to you with some information, and that'll help guide the decision of where we want to go. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
It may be time to revisit it.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it was at least a few years ago that we had a conversation about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and probably things are in motion that you kind of lose track of where they are.
But I think it's fabulous that we're now hosting it because historically we had to send our students to other districts and just be taking a big test like that in your high school career to be able to do that in a classroom where you feel safe and comfortable and familiar, I think is a benefit to our kids.
Whether it was just driving somewhere too, where you're going early in the morning.
Yeah.
Early in the morning, right. And I do want to comment, this actually goes back to the fees for athletic facilities. So talking about this history just reminds me, it just makes me feel full of pride that this district is sort of finally at a place where we are leveraging our facilities on behalf of the community and actually encouraging folks to use them. There was a time philosophically where that was not the case. In fact, we had students getting yelled at for like walking across a basketball court or using, a field because we were so concerned about the cost of maintenance. So for me, I've seen, most of you probably haven't seen the swing, but for me, I've seen this swing from being so protective about it financially that people were afraid to use it. So what's the point of having the asset if you're not going to use it? To now we're at the point where we're talking about potentially advertising that we have up to date, cool facilities that are available for revenue generation for this district. So kudos to everybody involved.
Thank you for saying it. Community use, like I mentioned earlier, pickleball.
Pickleball, yeah.
You have lights one at the middle school and high school for people to walk and use the track.
Yeah.
It's a community asset.
Yeah. So thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Hefner,
Yes.
Mr. Hohenschel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hume,
Yes.
Mr. Reitenauer,
Yes.
Fitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Walliser,
Yes.
Mrs. Eisenhart,
Yes.
Mr. Wagoner.
Yes.
8 yeas, motion carries.
All right, superintendent report. Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Motion right now.
Second Stubitz.
Auditor, the floor is yours.
Only one item under superintendent's report this evening, and that is I'm asking to attend a conference. It's actually a national conference. I haven't done this before, but I am now serving on the PASA, which is the Pennsylvania School Administrators Board. I'm the representative for Berks County. This is kind of the national level of that. There's a conference in February down in Nashville, Tennessee. It's $795 for the travel to go to that, or for the cost of the conference to go to that for the 3 days. That would not include the travel and then the hotel expenses. Hotel expenses, about what I'm seeing right now, is about $250 a night for that. And I looked around and I tried to do it outside because it's a partnership with the registration, and that was the cheapest way to do it. I tried to look at some other options. So, if the board to be open to that, I'd greatly appreciate that opportunity to try to go to a national event like that. Like I'm kind of connected to the PASA role, but also for my own goals. I did want to also share on the enrollment report tonight, just a couple quick updates on this. When I looked at the enrollment for where we are right now in October, this is always a pretty good snapshot because the dust settles a little bit. The move-ins, the move-outs kind of get themselves regulated. When we were in August, we had 1,210 students. Right now, we're at 1,202 students. Our free and reduced lunch sitting right now is 34.22. When we look at that in comparison to where we were last year at this time in October, we were at 1,218 students. So we're about 16 lower overall, which is pretty insignificant, considering. And then our free and reduced lunch last year was 36.35. So we're about 2% lower on free and reduced lunch. We had 460 students last year free reduced lunch, and 412 this year. So that's where we are right now with enrollment.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Hohenschel,
Yes.
Mrs. Hume,
Yes.
Mr. Breaknauer,
Yes.
Mr. Stubitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Walliser,
Yes.
Mrs. Eisenhart,
Yes.
Mr. Hefner,
Yes.
Mr. Wagaman,
Yes.
8 yeas, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Personnel report. Motion and a second, please.
Motion right now.
Second Stubitz.
You guys are on the roll.
Done.
Under personnel report tonight, we have the resignation of Mrs. Farkas. Mrs. Farkas has been a longtime administrative assistant at the high school for the high school principal. That is going to be a replacement when you look at B3 of a change of status from Mrs. Renner, who was a 10-month administrative assistant moving into the 12-month role. So it's an exciting time for her, and we wish Mrs. Farkas the best of luck. We are also looking at the resignation of our high school music band instrument teacher. That is Mr. Salzberg. We have evaluated that. We've talked with the music staff. The plan that we would like to put in place, which really then changes the change of status for B1 and B2, is we'd like to take Mrs. Stephanie Renda. She is heavily involved in this process and actually has come up with this idea, and have her be the secondary band instructor, and then have Mrs. Soriano, who is our new music teacher at the elementary school, part-time at the elementary school, move her to full-time. She'll come up here and then help with the instrument lessons. Right now, on paper, everything looks like it's going to work. There is now a half-time savings that's hanging out there. I'd like to just kind of put that on hold for a little bit. Take a look at this in December, and then take a look at this at the end of the school year and talking with our music staff. If we feel like it is working successfully and we can continue this path, that's great. That's a financially half-time savings. On the flip side, if there's challenges with the scheduling, or we're seeing that our students, particularly our younger students, 4th, 5th grade, are not getting that level of lessons and one-on-one attention that they need to help them grow for the long-term success of their music career and the music program, then we might look to reevaluate that and recommend that we go back and hire that 0.5 position. But right now, that's the plan moving forward. Again, on paper, it looks good. Talking with everybody, everyone feels comfortable with this plan. And again, we'll reevaluate in December and the end of the year. The reason we're saying December and the end of the year is, if we said, let's just go out and hire someone now, the likelihood of finding a good candidate in October is not going to be great. December, you might have an opportunity because of mid-year hires. End of the school year, you obviously will have a little bit more. So that's kind of strategic, the timeline for those pieces. So those are all connected. Item C1 is to approve our new the new school certified school nurse. Our certified school nurse that we had has resigned. She is moving back to the school district she came from. Mrs. Pilgert comes to us from the Wilson School District. She's going to be moving in, overseeing as a certified school nurse all 3 schools. She currently oversees 2 schools in the Wilson School District with the same number of students. So in terms of the workload, in terms of that balance, she oversees the 2 schools with, I believe it's 2 support staff Here she'll oversee 3 schools with 4 support staff. So she'll have more staff and the same number of students to be able to manage the school district. So we talked pretty in depth with her about being able to manage that and being in 3 buildings, and she was very comfortable and excited for that opportunity. So I think that's going to be a great hire for us. Tonight we have one here, the appointment of a new business manager. This is Tracy Detweiler. Detweiler is with us this evening. The board had a chance to meet with her previously. Mrs. Detweiler comes to us with 11 years experience at the Antietam School District as a business manager, most recently at the Twin Valley School District as a business manager. She has experience in kind of all facets of business management in terms of overseeing food service, transportation, building the grounds, as well as obviously the business function. And so that marries well with what our position is. And so we are excited to recommend Mrs. Detweiler to the business manager position for the school district. Item 2, C2, is a support staff recommendation. This is Mrs. Balick. She is going to be the recommended candidate for the accounts payable position. We actually had a lot of candidates for this position. We're really excited to have Mrs. Balick be the individual that rose to the occasion. Her personality, her skill set seemed to mesh really well with the district philosophy and priorities, and particularly even with the business office staff. So excited for that opportunity. We also have the appointment of a new part-time food service worker, Mr. Dalton Bunn, who is a former student with the school district and looking to work with us. We have a couple co-curricular appointments. Tonight we have the athletic coaches recommendations for the fall. We have the winter athletic coaches recommendations. And then we have the athletic event workers list for the fall and the winter athletic event workers list. I'd like to just point out a couple things. On the fall co-curricular coaches recommendation, we do have a hire that was not on previously. That's Kevin Schmidt to be the head esports teacher. We also have Emily Schaller. There was some discussion last meeting about what is the scoreboard operator. Is that just a fall season, or is that a year-long season? So once we did a little bit more research and we looked back into the job description, that stipend of $3,000 and that scoreboard operator is just for the fall season. So I wanted to make sure that we were clear on that. That would not be needed in the winter, of course, because it's outside. And then in the spring, we're working on evaluating how that's going to work with the track program, because that's really the only sport that would be using the scoreboard in the spring.
One quick clarification.
Yeah.
I think my question last month, in addition to what you just resolved, was related to, I thought I read a line item that said we will evaluate this position annually. And my suggestion is just, if it's a seasonal position, particularly because it's new to us and we're really just learning what are the needs of the position and what makes someone good at it and what makes someone maybe need it, some more work at it. I would just suggest to make sure that we're reviewing the performance or the capability of that person at the end of each season and giving them that feedback. And that way we'll learn too about what's working, what isn't working, rather than waiting until the end of an entire school year to do that.
Good point. And I think that'll allow us to reflect on how we did this fall, and then also maybe dovetail that in with how we're going to look at it for the spring.
Exactly.
And we can kind of put the two things together.
Right on.
I will say she has done a fantastic job in the fall season she took all the players and took their photos and put their positions and everything, so it flashes up on the scoreboard during announcements and goals and all that stuff. So pretty cool thing for the kids.
It was neat during homecoming when they announced the homecoming king. They snapped the picture, and I think it was with less than 2 minutes. She had it in a image and had it up on the scoreboard. So it was like really quick. So there's need to be able to see that live use of the scoreboard too.
I snuck up there during recent event. I thought that was pretty cool. All the bells and whistles. She would show me on the screen the options that could go up there. I thought that was pretty cool.
You start pushing buttons.
I resisted.
Can we get instant replay for some?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Work on that.
We can work on that.
I do have the shell game memorized though, so if anyone.
Under the winter coaches, there are just a couple items I wanted to pull out and note. Mr. Whalen was our longtime head wrestling coach. He has resigned, and so we're recommending Justin Worley, who has been a longtime assistant coach, become the head wrestling coach, and then Dylan Ryer become the high school boys assistant wrestling coach. So those are two pretty substantial coaching positions. I did want to point out some changes there. And then one of the changes that are also happening with the girls team in particular is that Emily Schaller, who's been the scoreboard operator, is looking to help coach the girls team as well, which I thought was a neat connection. There are a bunch of winter coaching recommendations, but those are the ones I wanted to highlight. And then the final item I just wanted to note on here that we have as an agenda item is to have Mrs. Heather Culp be the mentor for Mrs. Stacy Pilgert. It's a little bit of a unique blend because we don't have another certified school nurse, but Mrs. Culp seemed to be the best person in terms of that guidance connection and being a good mentor for Mrs. Pilgert. Those are the personnel items.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Mrs. Hume,
Yes.
Mr. Reitnauer,
Yes.
Mr. Stubitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Walliser,
Yes.
Mrs. Eisenman,
Yes.
Mr. Hefner,
Yes.
Mr. Hohenschildt,
Yes.
Mr. Wagner,
Yes,
8 yeas, motion carries.
thank you. Is there any public comment?
Is there any public? Yes, we do. We have one.
Any additional board questions, comments?
I had a random thought and I wanted to run by the board. I know a couple years ago, Topton used to do a fireworks show at the end of the summer and it was spectacular and it was great. And then they stopped it. I don't know the reason. I don't need to know the reason. But I was thinking that it would be pretty neat if we can start doing it at the end of the summer to kick off the school year at our new stadium, if there was any interest in that.
I'd like to one up you.
Okay.
I know how to use YouTube.
There's some costs, there's some donor partnerships that will have to come into play there, obviously.
I was gonna say, let's
But
get some
if we could
donors.
do that, that would be really cool.
Second.